Wow. I've been so busy from morning. I haven't checked social media. Let me check to see what is happening in my beautiful island, Jamaica. Ooh. What? Another woman violated by her spouse? She was set ablaze. What? She was gassed, then set ablaze by her spouse? This is unbelievable. What? Men? Really? Really, men? How did we get here? What is happening with our men? Men, you need to take an introspective look into yourselves. Is that what God really intended when He took a rib from Adam's side and carved Eve? And Adam said, "This is flesh of my flesh." Really, man? How did we get here? Where is the love? Hi, everyone. My name is Althea Green Thomas, and I'm a strong advocate for women and children, particularly for the fact that we are one of the most vulnerable group. I'll be talking about violence against women. But let me define some key terms. What is violence? Violence is a behavior involving physical force which damage, hurt, or kill someone. Is that what our men really intend for we women? So, what is violence against women? Violence against women is the violation of women's rights. So when we are violated and we are restricted from doing what we are supposed to do, what we are allowed to do by law, by a man, usually our spouse, our rights are being violated. Is that the real purpose of a man and woman relationship? Is that what God really intended for us? I think not. So, why is it that 1 out of every 3 women globally is affected by whether it's physical violence or sexual violence by her intimate partner or a non-partner? Why is it? Why is it that 30% of women globally suffer from some sort of violence being meted out by a spouse or by a man? Isn't this alarming? Isn't this alarming, men? Men, how did we get here? Men who are born from women. Men who have mothers. Men who possibly have sisters, aunts, grandaunts, grandmothers. How could you hurt a woman? How could you cause a woman to become disabled? An able-bodied woman, a beautiful lady. How could you disfigure her to the point where she has severe scars across her face? She has burns. She's choked to the point of death, where it damages her nervous system. It damages her movement. It damages her speech. Why, men? Why? How did we get here? But women, we have a responsibility that when we enter into relationships, that we read the signals, that we take the red flags seriously. There are signs, but sometimes we ignore them. But let me touch on general violence against women in our society. As I said before, women are preyed upon because they are considered the weaker sex. If a man is going to rob, and there's a choice between robbing a male or a female, then it would be easier for that man to rob a woman. Because generally, we are not as strong as men physically. And a lot of us women are preyed upon by men in society. Whether it's sexual assault, a man touching a woman inappropriately without her consent, or a man eye raping a woman and saying things to make her uncomfortable, or a man breaking into a woman's house, taking her material stuff, raping her, murdering her. How could you, men? How could you murder a woman and then put her in a shallow grave? How could you pour gasoline on a woman and set her ablaze? How could you, as if a woman is in front of a firing squad, shot her multiple times, trap her into a vehicle and then set it ablaze? How could you squeeze the neck of a female to the point where she's lifeless, where she's unconscious? Where is the love? Where is the love? Violence affects women in many ways. It affects her emotionally, physically, her reproductive health. It increases the risk of her contracting HIV and other STIs. A woman can be driven crazy by the fact that she's verbally abused and sexually abused. A man raping his woman when she's not ready to have sex. Or a man saying things to his woman to let her feel inferior and let her feel as if she's nothing. A man kicking a woman several times, causing her to become infertile. A man having multiple partners, coming in and forcefully having sex with his partner, passing on STIs and other viruses. How could you, men? How did we get here? Where is the love? But is violence against women preventable? Yes, it is. When a woman turns up at a healthcare facility, we as healthcare providers have a responsibility to seek protection for that woman by reporting and seeking the necessary facilities and sources that that woman can get shelter and be safe. We can't turn a blind eye. We as women, when we are in our circles, to look at our friends, our lady friends, who, they have some sort of secret. Whenever the case of relationship comes up, they are uncomfortable. They just slip out of it. They are not into any discussion about it because they are in an abusive or violent relationship. When our female friends have unexplained injuries, we need to check it out. Sometimes they are crying out for help, but they don't know how to tell you because they want to maintain this status, this look, unblemished look. But behind all of this, they're dying, they're suffering. So we have to look out for these signs. Delay between seeking medical attention because they're trying to buy into time as to what they will say that happened to them. When they have physical injury and there is no reason to explain why it has happened, They have no illness. They didn't slide. They didn't fall and cause a broken arm. But they'll explain and say, my arm was broken because I slipped. And sometimes it happens repeatedly. When pregnant women are abused and there are bruises on their stomach and their breast, these are signs that they might be living in an abusive situation, and we need to look out for them as women. When they have unusual high visit to healthcare facilities, when there's no known illness, they have no diabetes, no high blood pressure, no low blood pressure, no lupus, no cancer, none of those, yet they are visiting because they are suffering from abuse from their spouse. ISTIs, so every second they catch an STI from their partner and have to be going to the doctor. Miscarriages, because they are kicked into their stomach, or because of stress they keep on losing the pregnancies. And repeated vaginal urinary infections. So we notice signs that are happening to our female friends in our circle. They need our support, and we need to reach out to them. Women in general, violence in general. Sometimes we do not follow our gut feelings. We need to protect ourselves, because we are living in a time now when we have become easy prey for men, evil men. So we have to follow our gut feeling. Something is happening on the outside, and your gut feeling tell you, no, don't go there. Something is not right, and you go against it and you go out there. Then something bad might happen to you. Your gut feeling tell you that this person is not a good person to date, and you put that aside and you go into a relationship and you find yourself in deep waters. Protect yourself by informing your friends and your family where you're going, that they can know that you're at X point, just in case you do not turn up when you're to return home. They know that you went to X point. Be aware of your environment. Look around you. Notice strange things that are not usually happening. Strange vehicle, strange faces. Look around you. Be observant. Be open to suggestions. Some of us do not want to hear anything from our parents or persons who have experience and persons who can see beyond what we are seeing, to prevent us from getting into certain danger. Ensure that you're familiar with your daughter's friends. Know who they are going out with. What if your daughter is going on a date where she will be sexually assaulted by men and abducted, raped, and killed? You have to know your children's whereabouts. Call them, check up on them to see if they're okay. And we need to pray. Women, there are signs that will indicate if you are in an abusive relationship or if you are entering into one. When your spouse calls you names, insult you, and put you down. When your spouse prevents you from keeping in touch with your friends and families, and you can't see your friends and families, that's not a good sign. Tries to control how much money you spend, how you spend the money, where you go, what you wear, which doctor you go to. Acts jealous and possessive, as if you're an object they own. You can't talk to Mr. Brown, because if you talk to Mr. Brown, he's your man. You're giving him bone. Those are signs that you're in a relationship that you need to get out of, and get out fast. When your spouse drink and get angry, it's so dangerous to be in a relationship with a drug user or a drinker. When your spouse threatens you with weapons, whether a knife or a gun, and tell you that they're going to bust your throat or they're going to shoot you, it is a sign, it's a red flag, it's a signal that this is not a healthy relationship. When he kicks you, shoves you, slaps you, chokes you, kick your animal, abuses your children, that's a sign that you are in an abusive or violent relationship. And the tips are from mayoclinic.org. When you decide to leave, because sometimes you have been in this relationship and you want to get out, stop thinking that you can change your partner. That will not happen. Most times they'll promise you that they will change, but it doesn't materialize. Stop worrying about what will happen when you leave. When you leave, something will work out. It's safer to leave and don't know where you're going than to stay in a relationship where your life is at threat. Trust me, when you leave, God is going to provide help for you. There's going to be a way out. Plan your escape route out of the situation and have faith. And if you remain in it, because you really don't have any where to go, contact Women Inc. or the police, because you're gonna need emotional support. You're gonna need safe shelter. You're gonna need information on how we are gonna deal with this. Build a strong support system as much as your partner will allow, because sometimes you're in a controlling situation. So you have to find a way to get around him, to get your support system out there, your friend circle, persons who can inform you and help you to get out of the situation, and be kind to yourselves. Because sometimes when women are in abusive situation or in a violent situation, we can be so hard on ourselves, telling ourselves we are the cause of it. If me never do this, it will not beat me. No, you have to be kind to yourself. Men, God didn't make women to be your beating stick or your football or your floor mat. God created woman for men to have companionship, for men to love, for the man to take care of, to love and to cherish, and for procreation so that the species can continue. Men, I hope if you see this video, you will take an introspective look into yourselves and make a 360-degree turnaround. Women, try to remember the information I shared with you today on how to protect yourself, how to prevent yourself from being attacked or being in an abusive situation. Because when we talk about violence against women, it's not only partner violence. We're talking about violence generally in society, where criminals prey upon us women. Therefore, we have to be vigilant. We have to be aware of our environment. And we must trust God and pray before we make the next move, before we form another relationship, and ask God to continue to cover us under His blood. I hope someone will be blessed by this video, and it will help you to live a long and productive life. Bye.